So with all of the issues Apple has had with iOS 17 since its launch, it's no surprise that Apple has paused work on iOS 18 to focus on bug fixes and quality. So this is an article that was posted earlier this week, and if we just dive right in, it says Apple is doubling down on its efforts to improve the overall software quality of iOS, macOS, and watchOS, because iOS and watchOS, they have been pretty bad. I noticed that it doesn't say iPadOS, but I guess there's nothing for the iPadOS team to do. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman explained that Apple completed the first version of next year's iOS 18, macOS 15, and watchOS 11 releases last month. However, that update was reviewed. They have found a large number of bugs. All this to say is that Apple is taking its software quality a lot seriously for iOS 18 and macOS 15 and watchOS 11. But the reason is because Apple wants iOS 18 to be its most ambitious and compelling update in years. So after Apple has paused the development of new features of iOS 18 to focus on fixing bugs, the company still has big ambitions for next year's iPhone software update. In a previous video, I mentioned that the focus of iOS 18 is supposed to be on artificial intelligence, right? This actually goes a little bit deeper because it says here the goal is that iOS 18 will ship with major new features and designs. So possibly redesigns of apps we've been using for years, alongside significant improvements to performance and security. Security is always a good thing. We don't know much about what these particular features and designs are. At least at this point, I'm pretty sure it will leak as we get closer to WWDC and the unveiling of iOS 18. The reason why Apple wants it to be its most ambitious and compelling update is because the last couple of years of iOS updates have been pretty small. Well, the article actually says modestly sized updates, which I guess it's true. It also mentions here that the last major update was iOS 14 in 2020, which added support for home screen widgets. So just catching up to Android, right? All of this to say that iOS 18 seems to be going for a huge splash at WWDC. And that is because people are not upgrading to the newest versions as much, whether it's because those individuals fear that upgrading to the new version will make their device stop working, which is a very valid concern, or they just don't see anything worth upgrading to. Hopefully, Apple will figure out a way to convince users to update to iOS 18 and its other slate of software releases, but until we see more at WWDC, all speculation at this point. What features do you want to see in iOS 18? Or perhaps you want to see a return to the iOS 12 side of things where it was just bug fixes and performance enhancements. As always, thank you all for the engagement, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.